Hello everybody. So a week ago today, we shared with you our news that we're expecting a baby, and since then we have had so many questions. And we did say...
And lots of lovely messages as well.
Oh, I mean loads.
I wanted to say thank you. We've had so touching to have so many lovely messages.
So much support, so much like love sent our way. It's been really wonderful. But we did mention in the video that we would answer some questions. Now I did a Q&A on my my Instagram stories the other day, but I realised that actually 15 seconds isn't really long enough to share some of the answers. So I went to old school, I went to Twitter and I went to Instagram, and I just sort of collated a bunch of questions, and Sarah and I are going to sit and answer them for you. Has Sarah had any weird pregnancy cravings, or has she gone off foods which she'd previously loved? I'll let you field this one.
Gonna be honest, I hate eating at the moment. I'd say my diet is quite mixed. We try and eat really like a mixture of healthy things and try and have like veggie meals like 3 times a week.
Right.
I would say since I've been pregnant, my diet is mostly cereal and toast.
It's very beige.
Very beige. And even then, I was talking to my mum the other day trying to explain it, and it was like, the best she could say was, it's like if you're a bit jet lagged and you wake up and you're a bit groggy, or like if you're a bit hungover and you're like, don't really know what's going on and you just have no appetite. It's like that. I look at food and I'm just kind of like, ugh.
It's getting better, the first trimester in particular. So obviously we found out we were pregnant. You have like, what, 2-3 weeks where nothing really happens, but you don't have any symptoms, don't have anything, and then suddenly the sickness kicked in, and poor old Sarah was like 24/7, couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, actually started losing weight, which is not a good sign. It wasn't so much keeping food down, it was getting food in. Like, you just had zero appetite.
I just have to sit there and think, precious cargo, fuel the baby.
Are you having a theme for the nursery? We don't know yet, and we haven't kind of decided.
I really want I would really like Jim to paint something on the wall for the baby, because he will tell you he's rubbish at art, but he's very talented, and with a bit of practice as well, I think you could do a lovely mural of something, but we haven't decided what.
Yeah, I mean, this is where we disagree, and I don't think it would be an arty thing that I paint on the wall. I'm thinking really more like stencil based or something that's a bit, but we both agree we want it to be colourful and like calming, and to kind of like encourage exploration and things.
Yeah, I'm not saying we're going to have like some huge feature wall or anything garish. I just think that would be a really lovely thing for them to have something in their room painted by their dad. We just can't decide on what that thing is going to be. Sarah quite likes a jungle theme. I quite like a sort of a spacey theme. No, we've seen quite a lot of like really nice night sky things, and yeah, we'll decide. Then you also might get there and say, oh, I don't want a theme at all, I just want...
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, so we've got bigger decisions to make, I think, than that. So that's kind of a bit further down the list. What are you most scared about in terms of parenting?
What are you most scared about?
Nothing anymore. Genuinely, just is pure joy and excitement. Obviously, I was really scared before we had our scan, because we had both put like our hearts into...
You have got a long time ahead of you though. You're not scared of like period chat, drug chat, first boyfriend.
No, I mean, I'm not.
Have sex.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they'll get to a point where they themselves will be adults, but I feel like we'll be equipped. My job will be, as a parent, will be, and yours will be, to make sure that those chats are encouraged and normal, and like not make such a big thing about the chat. You know what I mean? I think this sounds really stupid, but you'll know this. I'm so bad when I have no sleep. I am a bitch. And the first 6 months, you really, like, everyone's like, you'll get no sleep, and I just feel for my poor child that I'll be really mean. No, I think you just kind of, and there's the two of us, and we tag team, and while one's resting, the other one's on duty. I think we'll be fine. Like, I'm not scared. I'm obviously worried, just because although we've had our scan and everything looked fine, and in where it should be and how it should be, that was week 12, right? 12-week scan. Mm-hmm. We don't have another one now for a bit longer, and I just want, with every ounce of my being, for this little thing to be okay, and that's my worry. But scared, I can't wait to be a parent. I can't wait to be a dad, and I think we will make an excellent team. Sarah is the most maternal, but not. I don't mean that in like a kind of a mumsy sort of overly mothering way. She's just got a very nice soul, and I know we'll be excellent parents. I think we're going to have very different
styles of parenting.
I don't mean like styles, but yeah, I think we will, because I am.
You're much more laissez-faire. I think I would be more strict than you.
Yeah, but I also mean in terms of like our temperaments. I am very like. I let a lot pass. I let a lot slide. I very zen. Not always for the best. I'm not comparing us to saying that I'm better at all. I am very like, yeah, whatever. Just sort of what will be will be. Whereas Sarah is much more, I guess, proactive. Sometimes we both do the extremes of our things, so the proactivity can turn to gossip for Sarah. For me,
sometimes I think that ideal would be in the middle, where there's like a good level of we'll let it go, or a good level of like you probably need to be punished for that.
Yeah, I think for me sometimes my willingness to kind of let things slide can be a little. What's the word I'm looking for? I think perhaps I could toughen up a little bit, maybe. And I think sort of somewhere, hopefully, our child will pick up on both of us and land somewhere in the middle, and then they'll be like a really, really excellent human. Who was the first person we told?
Well, you.
Right.
And then, oh my God, I was desperate to tell family, and obviously you see everyone and it's just kind of the done thing that people say, you know, wait till you're 12 weeks, wait till everything's safe. And I kept saying to Jim, I just want to tell my mum, I just want to tell my mum. And Jim was like, I'm not sure, you know, if anything happens. And all I thought was, well, God forbid if anything were to happen, the only person I'd want to talk to really is my mum.
Right.
So she's going to find out anyway, so I would rather tell her. So the first person I told was my mum.
Within minutes as well. It was just a really lovely sort of
she kept saying,
hour.
What are you telling me? And she obviously knew what we were telling her. She was just in a bit of shock. She was like, what are you telling me?
It was also my birthday, right? So I think we called Jack, and I think she expected birthday conversation, you know what I mean? And when we said, and Sarah let me tell Jackie because it was my birthday, but I was like, but she's your mum, so.
I know, I said, tell Jackie what your extra birthday present was.
So we had almost like a little domestic between us. I was like, no, Sarah, I can't tell your mum, you tell your mum. I think we played it right in that we told the people closest to us so that they could share our joy, but also be there for us should the worst happen.
Yeah, like you told your friends early, and I think that probably, I can imagine that's a nice support for you when I'm off vomiting all the time.
But I didn't tell anyone that early. Like we didn't tell my parents, tell my mum and my family until a little bit later, because I kind of feel like, because Sarah's carrying the child, and when we first find out, there's nothing for me to do, there's no sign, there's no symptoms, there's no nothing. So it didn't really feel very real, and I didn't tell my family for a while, purely because I was like, it felt like a real moment for Sarah and her mum. And actually I wasn't going to tell my family for a few more weeks yet. My nan passed away, and everyone was going to go to the funeral, but this was at the peak of COVID. So I was like, I'm going to swerve the funeral in case I bring back COVID and give it to Sarah, and then our little child gets it. But of course I couldn't just say, yeah, I'm not going to go to my nan's funeral. So I had to sort of say to my family, I'm not going because we're pregnant. So it wasn't really the way I wanted to share the news. But nonetheless, it was kind of, I guess in a way, kind of a full circle. We lost my nan, but we've got someone else on the way. So that's kind of, I guess, as good a time to tell them as ever. Oh, here's a fun one. Do you still keep in touch with Zoe and Alfie? Are you excited that they're pregnant at the same time? Yeah, we found out yesterday on Instagram, and so it's so wonderful. I called Zoe and Alfie on the phone, and we had a quick chat, and we're having the same story at the same time, and I don't know, it's just
like completely the same time as well, like almost not to like out anyone's due dates or like anyone else's information, but such close timings, it's like a bit crazy.
I think initially we had the same due date. I think that's changed a bit according to our scans. But yeah, it's really, really nice. And I think also because we're both on, all of us are on social media, it's nice to have someone who's going through the same journey at the same time. And already Zoe and Sarah have been chatting and like...
It's so nice to have someone else to text and be like, is that a normal, are you feeling like that? And they're like, yeah, it's weird, but me too. It's nice to have someone else to just talk to.
This is a fun question. How does it feel to know you basically raised a bunch of UK teens and now you're about to raise an actual baby? Now that's...
Raised!
Right, I mean, that's a real stretch. For those of you who have been with me for a long time, you'll know that a couple of years ago, probably more than that now, like 5-6 years ago, 2014, 15, 16, 17.
You raising them on the Chubby Bunny challenge?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was fun internet adventure, wasn't it? But my audience were, young, and I guess I found myself as a bit of like a role model. Maybe is not quite right, but something in that territory. And I've had so many people now comment going, oh my god, like I remember watching you, when I was 13, 14, 15, 16, and now, I guess they felt like I was a friend, part of the family, in that instance their father apparently, and now I'm going to be raising an actual human being. My response to that on Twitter was, I hope I did a good job with you, because now I have to raise an actual person. Also, don't do your parents a disservice. They actually raised you. I just provided some entertainment on the internet by like waxing my legs and doing silly stuff.
Was this on purpose? Was it an accident? You were planned, child.
Also, unplanned things, accidents, I suppose, if you want to put it that way, can also lead to absolute magic. So I
was an accident, yeah.
Right, there you go. I don't think my mum intended to have twins. You know what I mean? There's 4 of us now.
I think once you realise the kind of second, third wave of COVID, you're like, I could be in my house for another who knows how long. You just realise I can't change the world around me, but I can change.
You're using my lines against me. That's what I said to Sarah, because we had decided we wanted to do a few things as a couple before we actually took the plunge and had kids. But I said to her, I was like, we can't control what the world is doing. Like, there's a pandemic going on. We have no say over that, but we can control what we do as a couple. So the things that we wanted to do, which to be honest were minor things anyway. We wanted to go on a holiday. There was a few other like little bits and bobs we wanted to do pre having a child, but we just sort of thought, we don't know how long we're going to be doing this for, and we can delay our life and delay going on this trip and delay sort of the other bits and bobs we wanted to do for the sake of a pandemic, or we can just do what we want to do anyway, and then the rest will happen. Loads and loads of questions about whether we know the sex yet and whether we're going to find out. My brother didn't find out. His baby's 2 now, and he said it was the most wonderful surprise, and I'm there for that, but
I'm not. I want to know so bad.
Right, Sarah really wants to know.
This is where, like you were saying before about our different personalities, I'm like, curiosity killed the cat, like Christmas presents, I'm like shaking the box and like looking, whereas you're quite happy to just have a surprise.
I don't mind the idea of a surprise, but also I don't mind the idea of knowing, and Sarah really wants to know, so we're going to know. Now I know that we're going to find out, I kind of really want to know soon. I think for me, just so I can know who I'm talking to, because we spend all of our time now talking to Sarah's tummy, and the little child is known as baby. And it'd be nice to know, because we've got a few names in mind, which we can't totally agree on, but it'd be nice to sort of know who's in there so we can agree on a name and then start calling Sarah's tummy a name. We find that out in a few weeks. We're now at 13 weeks, and we find that out at what, 20?
Nearly 14 actually.
Nearly 14 weeks, and we find that out at what, week 21?
I think so, yeah.
Right, so it's not too long to wait.
It's forever.
Anyway, this video is long, so I'm going to have to cut those questions out, I think. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll keep you updated with things as they happen.
Yeah, and thank you for all the lovely comments and all the support. It's very, very really heartwarming.
It really is, yeah. I mean, I know sharing the news with your loved ones is wonderful, because obviously we've done that, but sharing it with like the wider world and feeling all that hope and love come through is just the most, like, this whole experience has changed my life, and you guys are a big part of that, because obviously it just kind of filled us with like just so much joy. So we appreciate you.
I'm going to have to wrap it up, because I'm feeling a bit nauseous.
Oh, okay. Thanks very much, everyone. See you soon. Bye.